Guys, what is going on? Welcome back to my channel. And for today, we are gonna be doing some of the one-shot gameplay with Sharon Rogers. So we are gonna utilize the Captain America and weapon hacks or defense down method. So if you take a look at the team bonus here, so basically when you put in Sharon and Captain America in your team, and when you do a cool skill, Cap is going to feel that 30% or defense down because of his 4th skill from the Generational Justice team bonus. And in addition to the 100% or defense down that offered by weapon hacks as the striker. So anything that go over the 100% or defense down, the damage is just bonker. And that's why Sharon is able to do such higher stages against Cull Obsidian and Thanos because of those crazy all defense down. So when it comes to the team up, you have to use Captain to team up with Sharon because of the extra 30% all defense down that offered by Captain America. And the other one, you can use whatever support that you want. You know, you can use someone like Shuri, you can use someone like Phil Coulson or Ghost Panther or even White Fox. But in this video, since we are talking about F2P friendly, so I will just focus on using Shuri. And the other thing is when it comes to the leadership, it really doesn't matter which leadership you are going to use here because 3 of them doesn't have any effective leadership. So I will just use Sharon as a leader so I don't have to switch the character at the beginning of the fight, which is even better. Alright, so before we get into some gameplay, let's quickly check out our build here. Well, we got almost everything maxed out, including the critical damage, ignore defense and cooldown as well. And the critical rate is maxed out as well because her 5th skill does provide the extra critical rate by 35%. So 35 plus 43 is already over the cap. And then all the gears are at 25 with some of the 5 and 6 star energy attack Urus. No Odin's Blessing. As far as the skill set goes, only the 3, 4, 5 are maxed out because that's what we need the most. ISO set is Hawkeye's ISO set, Sistrap in effect. And then we are rocking with the CTP of energy, which is good enough for Sharon Rogers. And then the uniform is only at heroic level. Alright, so without any further ado, let's get started. Stage 70 Cull Obsidian. Let's see what is happening here. Now you have to be very careful with the co-op skill because Sharon is going to do the 4 when you press the co-op and that might trigger your proc early. So you have to cancel the co-op very quickly so that your damage proc won't be triggered early. And there we go. That is what I mean. Stage 70 and we get it done with just 6 seconds. That is impressive. Let's try 5 more stages higher this round and let's see if we are able to do the same thing as what we did previously. Alright, co-op 3, 5 and then go with the 4 and there we go. 6 seconds clear and this is stage 75 World Boss Ultimate, my dude. This is just fantastic. How about stage 80? Are we able to do the same thing as what we did previously? Alright, let's see. Okay, wait for a while. 5 is a delay cancel, by the way. Alright, it seems that we do not have enough power to do stage 80. I think because of my Shuri doesn't have a CTP of insight and we don't have a proper leadership as well. I think that's the main reasons why we can't one-shot stage 80, but it's still okay. You can start from here actually. I believe we can clear this with just 2 or 3 shots with the same rotation. It's still pretty good to be honest. You know what? I just tried with a different team up here and it works. Stage 80 Cull Obsidian is not a problem for Sharon if you use the Nick Fury and Deadpool combo, but of course this team up is much more complicated and difficult if you are using a CTP of energy. But there we go, with this stage 80 with just 8 seconds. That is really nice. Right now we are doing stage 60 chorus. I know I could do a little bit higher but I just want to redo again because sometimes chorus is just really annoying. So I choose to do stage 60 just to show you guys the idea and the rotation so that you know what to do when it comes to using Sharon to execute the World Boss one-shot method. Now please keep in mind that Sharon one-shot method does work against almost all the world boss except for Proxima Midnight. She can't really one-shot Proxima due to Proxima has a very high level of energy defense, and Proxima is the only Infinity World boss ultimate that Sharon can do. Other than that, she can do very well those bosses like Thanos and Ebony Maw, which you're gonna see that in the later gameplay. So when it comes to the strikers, try to bring in at least 3 ignore dodge strikers, especially against covers. You know, weapon hacks and Doctor Strange is a must. Weapon hacks for the 100% all defense now, and Doctor Strange basically for the time freeze ability. You don't have to necessarily own weapon hacks at tier 2, tier 1 6 star is more than enough. So weapon hacks and Doctor is a must as a strikers, and the other 3 strikers always try to bring in 3 damage dealt strikers, but for covers it's better to bring in 3 ignore dodge strikers instead of 3 damage dealt strikers. And for the team up, as I say, if you don't have the Deadpool and Nick Fury combo, you can actually utilize the Captain America's all defense now to do the one shot, but you do need the Captain in-game or Hydra Supreme uniform in order to have the 30% all defense down. So it's a very F2P friendly one-shot combo, to be honest. Finally, here we are, facing against the Mad Titan. To be honest, for Thanos, it's not always the first or the second try thing. Sometimes you have to try multiple times, 10 times, 20 times, or even more than that in order to one-shot Thanos. Sharon does have the power to do it, but the problem is most of the time you are going to start at here, which is the second phase or the third phase of the battle. It's really hard to cut through the phase no matter which stage you are dealing with, whether it's stage 20, stage 30, or even stage 40 or stage 50. She can definitely one-shot very high stages of Thanos World Boss Ultimate, but I just can't show you here. The one that I did is actually stage 25, but it's still pretty decent, right? Even though sometimes you can't one-shot immediately, but still you are able to start from the last 8 bars or the last 10 bars, which is very nice. But of course, if you want to do the one shot, it's still possible, but it requires the time, the dedication to make the one shot happen. Remember, for Thanos, it's not always the first or the second try thing. You have to try multiple times in order to succeed. Alright guys, so that's all for the build, the strategy, and the one-shot guide for Sharon Rogers. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. And thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Take care.